Alright, some important forewords. If you went to BC and had a wonderful time, log off this video and hit downvote on the way out. I'm not here to rob you of your enjoyment. I went to great lengths not to ruin anyone's good time this year. We'll get back to that, but yeah, we got a lot to cover. I will be talking about how BronyCon's next year is allegedly going to be the last one. It's kind of important to me, but for different reasons than you might expect. And yeah, I understand some of my complaints won't be your complaints. For example, if you went to the vendor hall, I was told from various people, from Sam Outlion to Keyframe to Luximus, and many others, cleaned up. They had a great year. In fact, I spent far more of my time at the vending hall than I had done in any of the previous years that I've gone. When I was alone this year, it was because I chose far more than any other year. That comes with a caveat. And here comes the complaints in 5, 4, 3. There was just less options this year. The MVP in making my BronyCon experience far and away more fun was that creepy reading. Not to say that I didn't enjoy meeting or hanging with several other people, from Liliac to Kichi FIM to Secret Dreamer to Nikki V to Sam Outlion, Josh Scorcher, the brief amount of time I got to say hi to even Corpulent Brony or Brony Inspector.
Oh, would it helped if I actually would have had it on record because I'm a schmuck. But yeah, this contraption here, the creepy reading, we need a chair to take down.
Just want you to know, you've been demonetized.
Oh, indeed. Wonderful.
Hell, off the top of my head, the only people I meant to bump into but didn't were Owen from Equestria Now and Spirit Productions from The Secret Rift. I want to give a special shout out due to circumstances beyond her control that Quillstroke at the last moment got robbed out of going to BC. That really sucks. I'm sure she would have been busy most of the con, but I still would have liked to have been able to say hi. The VA community was really cool. I got to bump into Hi Kitty, I think it is, and Webcake, as well as Rustic Shine Kitty's boyfriend. I also saw 2 panels featuring the Lost Narrator and Magpie. I didn't quite get the chance to say hi person to person, but hey, they're kind of a big deal, and 2 of those panels were in the short list of panels that I enjoyed. I haven't been able to find a link to the clip of said footage from that panel. It was pretty metal. Hot damn, I was floored, and I would say it was the highlight of the con. Now, why I appreciate meeting everyone that I did when compared to BC 2017, it's a matter of peaks and valleys. There was less downtime this year. Hell, I ended up volunteering to work for Sam Outlion, at times fetching food, taking down his vending table. I'm going to be completely honest.
This is Anthony Aguilar, literally the most manly of bronies. I had each one of these under each one of my arms, but this lazy asshole just sat there and watched.
Well, Sam was far more fair, and by no stretch of the imagination am I bitching about him. He paid for the lion's share, lol, of the pizza and paid for helping me, take down the merch table. But this wouldn't have been my first string draft pick to spend my time at con. There was this great get-together where Josh Scorcher last year had everyone watch DuckTales, the premiere, where him, Brawny Buck, Anthony C., Ty and Diego, British Ninja, Kichi FIM, Irish John, Emerald Comet, the editor, damn near everyone and their mom got together, and it happened right on Sunday. And by the time it was time to go, I almost broke down. Now, was there a bittersweet moment at con this year? Now, regretfully, we have to talk about 2019, the last year for BC. I spent a lot of my time during this year's con actively choosing to take responsibility for the fandom shrinking. And let's be honest, I could have shut up. A lot of us could. And why I don't really think that would be the right call, my ability to promote on my main channel or elsewhere, whether that be the Secret Rift or Analysis Daily, I just haven't bothered recently. I did have a couple of people ask for the return of King of Limbo, and I think that's fair. And I mean to do that, at least I hope to. I do want to promote people, because I do think that part of the problem is BC hasn't recovered with new blood. So, what's the problem? I spent days convincing myself that why this might be a fool's errand, it was what I was going to choose to do to help the fandom, to help BronyCon. And then that Sunday happened, and BC's Twitter straight up said, next year is going to be the last year. Well, that took the choice right away from me. Instead of choosing to push BC, now I feel like I have to, which I feel unmotivated to do, because BC this year, at least for me, was a fair share of panels with unenthused speakers. Hell, they had a reviewer panel with 4 assholes I never heard of and never wanted to meet, for God's sake. Don't get me wrong, there were good panels, but just for example, there was no pony anthology this year. I think I saw 1, maybe 2 panels where they were packed to the brim, and I've recalled in years past sometimes you have to choose between two good panels. That was not this year's problem. And yeah, there was more downtime in previous years, and it felt like it might have been because I chose to do the wrong thing when others wanted to do something else. But let's get to my next point. Yeah, if I'm coming off as whiny and privileged as hell, I'm aware. It's why I said log off and downvote. Saturday night, I got invited along to a get-together. I was cutting it kind of close. I wanted to hit Secret Dreamer, Magpie, and Webcakes, Losts, and Obi's panel. I forget there was somebody else on there. But I also had to hit a dinner. Have you ever had someone whisper to someone else while they're looking at you, and you can instantly tell that they don't want you to be there? Before getting there, I made sure to ask, hey, am I alright to be here? Now, here's the catch-22. I'd love to tell you all about this. I'm sure that would be used to explain why I am in fact the worst, yada yada yada. So yeah, due to circumstances beyond my control, I had one moment at BC where me being there cheapened someone else's good time. It's someone who had blocked me without talking to me on Twitter. I understand there are going to be people who hate you no matter what. And yeah, FNGR, you must be really stretching it if this is the biggest drama that you could come up with. And yeah, this was the safest, well-behaved, drama-free BC that has ever been or likely ever will be. I heard rumors that the vending hall leaked on Friday. Rain. I never saw it myself. There was a flash flood warning on Friday, but nothing ever came of it. There was some big much ado about nothing on Sunday, where me and the inspector talked to the staff, who, by the way, the staff was helpful and polite, and believe me, I'm not too polite to say otherwise. For everything bad I could talk up about BC, it sure didn't suck. It just wasn't one for the history books. I saw people like King Theo or Lord Zarkon, and there were zero incidences. Hell, I'd argue I got less dirty looks than normal. You know what might shock you? People talked about Toon Critic. Hell, there was about 3 people cosplaying up as him. I think 2 is Toon and 1 is Cartoons. They were mostly quiet, and Cartoons had a selfie stick. I felt like if I was being really critical, I felt that was a generous 2 on the drama scale. BC, if nothing else, was relaxed. Also, mental note, the Hilton sucks, the elevators are garbage, there's no fridge, the bed is like a box of rocks. I promised myself I wouldn't go back there, but when Secret offered me a spot, I just jumped at it. Also, I'm super glad Lilac had a great time, despite having a lot of anxiety, despite having anxiety up the hoo-ha. There's so many little things that kept this from adding up to being amazing. It was almost, but not quite. And now, I've been told that the Secret Rift is having a meltdown because BronyCon is closing, so we're going to try and hold a get-together. Damn, it's going to really be hard to say no this time. So yeah, final thoughts. BronyCon attendance in 2015 was 10,000 people. In 2016, it was 7,500. In 2017, it was 6,300. And this year, it was 5,500. It's clearly been going down at a steady click year after year. We're winding down. Gen 4 will likely be over by this time when the last con happens. I think the staff did a fine job. Maybe the booking for the panels could have been a touch stronger. Okay, not maybe, it should have been. Part of the letdown for me was that there were no big stars that I hadn't met before. Granted, it was the first time I met Lost and Mag, well, at least I got to see them, and a lot of my complaints feel small. I got to enjoy the work of some very talented content creators. And if I got huffy about someone whispering about me, that's really my problem. And if I didn't have a get-together with most of my peers, I should have planned better. We'll see if I come back next year. Who knows? After all, I've got 300 days to mull it over. Well over. Oh, and special thanks to Dulcet Tones, who lured me back to mingle on Thursday among all the other horse people who I got in my head didn't seem to want me around. So yeah, some if not all of my problems were just in my head. Good night and good luck. Bonus story. This happened, I believe, Saturday or Friday night. It's kind of hard. Bit of a blur, maybe too much alcohol. I was hanging out with that creepy reading whose phone had died because the battery ran out. Now, all day long, he explained that his $800 super duper Google phone, something about curing cancer and having fuel cells that absorb the cells of the sun and maybe the souls of newborn children, some shit like that. But the sun had gone down, and well, because of the flash flood warning or the kids, all of the kids had been evacuated in a 10-mile radius. Long story short, it basically became a brick. I had an iPhone because it came with my contract, and everyone else had regular phones, and Creepy got desperate because he's one of those damn millennials with, the Uber app. which I didn't have. And while he's crying, I just started to call up my friends for help. Kichi picked up, which I ended up telling her about Creepy's $800 superphone, and her and Hungry Soma, perhaps one of the biggest cinnamon rolls in the fandom, died laughing, and then Kichi hung up on me. I tried begging Josh Scorcher on Discord, because him and Creepy are boys, but I think he was on girlfriend duty. I can't be certain. And let that be a lesson to all you single people out there. Your significant other is a failsafe to get you out of bullshit that you don't want to do. Now, like a saint, Webcake came up and tried to use some of her woo-woo meditation technique on the phone, but alas, the damn thing didn't turn on. So, if I remember correctly, Webcake flipped Creepy over her shoulder and bravely broke off into the dangerous summer night to escort Creepy back to his hotel, way across town. Because I was drunk and tired and my iPhone said, hey, this is a dumb idea, don't risk your life. In this foolish pursuit, I stayed put. So yeah, special thanks goes out to Webcake, who I think survived. But if she didn't, you can all blame that creepy reading, who had to be a hipster with his phone plan. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
We're gonna start with everybody introducing themselves.
So they're doing a super villain panel with Thorax.
I am the rightful queen. No. You just say your name and why you're here. I am Queen Chrysalis. And I suppose I need to learn something about what? Friendship. That is why we're here? Yeah. It is? I thought we were recruiting henchmen to destroy Metropolis City. Isn't that why you're here? Some of us
why
are
I'm here.
I was forced to be here.
My name's Grover, and I'm here to support the Storm King. Really nice guy. Vote for him.
It's okay.
But evil is the greatest thing ever!
That's something I can agree with. I'm sorry, it's just the way she's drawn. Okay, next. Maybe Starlight's back up here.
Hello, I'm Discord, and I don't know why I'm here. They have free water. It has a pun on it. It says, shall we dance?
Oh,
That was horrible.
they made me wig out.
I see what you did there.
They didn't like that one.
Alright, and you?
What?
Introduce yourself and why you're here, please.
Why would I do that? They already know I'm the greatest villain alive. I have the most dastardly plan. Do you want to know what it is? It's the most evil thing imaginable.
She doesn't even go here.
I was going to make every company in the city go bald!
So we're right outside of Hungry Soma and Bonzato's panel there. There's Kichi, Silver Pancake, Hungry Soma's kind of in the front, buried somewhere in there. Yeah, just felt like stopping in, and she was unbelievably nice, and so was Bon, and everybody should go to their DA and give all their money. Not some of it, not most of it, not a little bit, all of the money. I'll include a link down below. This is FNGR, and I haven't seen a pack of goddamn socialites since the top of the barrel. Oh! Look at this monstrosity, kids. So that's like an egg, a waffle. There's bacon on this bitch. I don't even want to know how many calories this bad thing has. So apparently I've been knighted by Samat Lion. I'm now working as like a vendor thingamajig. We're right across from Luximus. If there's a way to invert or flip this damn thing, it'd be nice. No? That's creepy reading. Tim making an ass out of himself again. Yep, there's the Lux, and I don't know. Bunch of nobody I know. So yeah.
Mine in the main, and the voice chip had a proposal. So I tricked her into, because originally we do fandom unboxing videos. So I was like, oh, it's a fan who sent us something. We should open it on camera. And she didn't want to. You were just so over it. You didn't even want to open it up.
I didn't even put on makeup. I was just like, all right, fine, you know.
And you opened them up, and then I surprised you with the voice chip, and you instantly started crying.
I
And
did.
it's the best.
And then afterwards, I remember telling her, and I was like, this is why you've been so stressed out, isn't it?
I hadn't slept in like 3 days.
She wouldn't tell me why.
So I commissioned the plushies, and the artist, who is a Cinnamon Stitch, she does amazing plushie work, but she told me, she's like, oh, I'm sending them now, it's expedited. I'm like, oh man. So, because I had to pick them up, I had to ask your dad real quick to make sure that it was okay, and then I popped the question, and then literally right after I popped the question and we turned off the camera, I'm like, can I go to bed now? I'm gonna die for a few hours.
What the fuck is the Medusa?
Voice can be good for that character that they give you. And that actually helps give you a creative and expressive outlet of doing pitch, range, emotion, so that has, and then by doing that, it would help you create a portfolio. So if you do want to pursue acting, voice acting as a career, it can actually help you provide a professional demo reel, which you can send to your agent along with a written resume of your acting career. Because if you, one of the biggest misconceptions about voice acting is people think, oh, if I do silly voices, I can be a voice actor. Bull.
Wrong. Totally wrong.
Bull freaking crap. So, shadow language. It's PG.
Yeah, PG for pretty cool.
So, yes, there is the voice part of it, but there is the acting part of it. So it's like, oh, I can do this voice. Great. Can you act?